Oh, they did it. They did it. Oh, they did it. Oh my god, I haven't experienced a series win in so long. In so long. It's felt like years. It's felt like eons. It's felt like my entire life has passed me by since the Phillies last won a series. And they finally did that. And they finally did that. Thank the Lord. Thank the baseball gods. My prayer last night in the recap was answered. Thank the Lord. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into TTP Sports, into another late night recap recorded version, which will be posted in the AM once again for you guys. So you're probably viewing this around 8, 9, 10 in the morning when I'm recording this around 1 o'clock in the morning. So this is directly after the Phillies won the series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They win the final game by a score of 9-4. And to be honest, start of the game was shaping up to be another frustrating, another pain-inducing, another aggravating, just basically all the bad emotions for another loss, for another series loss. I mean, it started off nice with Kyle Schwarber and his leadoff bomb. That was nice. But then the defense. Then Brandon Marsh not catching a ball out in center field that he should catch. Then Austin Hayes not catching a ball that lands in his glove and pops out and scores runs because of that. Then Trey Turner can't track down a shallow fly ball just outside of the infield dirt, basically. Looked like he hesitated on the jump, and the ball barely grazed his glove. He barely missed it, and that is a ball that Trey Turner should catch. So there's so many situations early in the game where your defense is just completely costing you. Now, I'm not really going to blame Tyler Phillips for that because his defense was just that atrocious. Brandon Marsh going after that fly ball in center field looked like, with the way that he was signaling, looked like he had the ball the entire way. Nope, apparently not. Nope, apparently not. Because he jumps, ball goes past him, hits the wall, and it becomes a double. I believe that was for Teoscar Hernandez. And then the ball that Austin Hayes dropped, scored a couple of runs. And then the ball that Trey Turner couldn't catch, scored a couple of runs. Just all, it's just all a butterfly effect. It just keeps, when you make these mistakes, a team like the Dodgers is going to make you pay. But thankfully, Tyler Phillips did settle in. He did keep you involved. And like I said in last night's recap, I didn't think Tyler Phillips was going to be as atrocious as he was in the Seattle game. Even though I still think the honeymoon with Tyler Phillips has very, died down a little bit, since the complete game shutout. And we were most likely expecting that at some point because he was pitching very well. Definitely an adrenaline rush. And it's an amazing story from Tyler Phillips. But, it was eventually going to die off at some point. I'd said if he went at least maybe 5-6 innings in this game, give up 3-4 on runs, and just kept you involved in the game, I would be satisfied with that from Tyler Phillips. Your offense needed to win the game for you. And that's exactly what Tyler Phillips did. He went 5 innings, only allowed 4 earned runs, even though maybe some of those earned runs should come off the board because of his defense. Because, MLB scorecards don't give guys errors anymore because I don't know why. They're just very, very lighthearted when it comes to defensive mistakes and just, well, it's a hit. It looked like a hit to me. So, no idea why. But, yeah, his total stat line, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts on 79 pitches. He did settle in for the most part. The Dodgers really didn't hit the ball much once the Phillies went to the bullpen. And after they got those first 6 hits off of Phillips, I believe they went a while without getting hit, basically. So, the Phillies pitching really settled in. Bullpen basically did the job after that, and that helped you stay involved in the game for basically one man. For basically one man in your lineup, and also Austin Hayes leaves the game with a tightened hamstring as he was running up the first baseline. So the guy that you deemed was the answer in the outfield, specifically in left field, to play every day, now he's hurt, and they're saying hamstring tightness, but the way it looked did not look comfortable at all. Basically looked the same way that Bryce Harper looked when he pulled his hamstring. So that's mainly the expectation I have there for the injury for Austin Hayes is most likely a pulled hamstring, and he's going to miss some time here. And immediately, Johan Rojas comes into the game, and he makes a fantastic catch out in center field. Game-changing defense that he provides you out in center field. You know, Brandon Marsh, I deem him to be a good fielder. He is not a good defensive center fielder. He is a good defensive corner outfielder. It is a completely different scenario in center field for him. For some reason, he has trouble tracking balls out there in center field when he has all that room. I don't know what the difference is. He got lucky making that catch in Seattle where the ball just magically landed into his glove, but he's been having way too many just instances where he can't track balls in center field and he just misreads them. He's a good defensive left fielder. He's one of the better defensive left fielders in the game. If you look in terms of defensive runs saved, he's one of the best up there. He's not a good defensive center fielder, in my opinion. Rojas immediately went into center field. Marsh went into left after Hayes got left with the injury. And Rojas was instantly game-changing with his defense. Made that fantastic catch. Basically could have been game-changing at that point. He also made another diving catch later on in the game. So at this point, you're going to have to play Johan Rojas now with Austin Hayes most likely going to be on the shelf for a little bit of time here, unless he called a break, which I am not expecting at this point with the way that he looked running up the first baseline. But Johan Rojas made it a couple of nice defensive plays, and he also got on base a couple of times, which set up basically the savior of today, which was Kyle Schwarber. And Kyle Schwarber was just a man on a fucking mission tonight. 3 bombs. I'm 7 minutes into this video, and I haven't even mentioned fucking Kyle Schwarber's 3 bombs. You know, that's how much shit happened in this game. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. But it's also unreal how amazing Kyle Schwarber is when he goes on these hot streaks. And that gives me just a sliver of hope for this team. Because if Kyle Schwarber can have a June caliber of an August, if that makes sense to you. We all know Schwarber starts to light the lamp, even though that's not a baseball term, it's a hockey term. When Kyle Schwarber starts to go off with the power, it starts around June, when that calendar flips to June 1st. Really didn't get that much from Kyle Schwarber in this season, basically. But can Kyle Schwarber have the type of June production that he's had in the past in August? And can that be the savior of the Phillies for the rest of the season? Mainly for August at this point. Because if Kyle Schwarber is clicking on all cylinders and he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark and he's driving runs in, now granted, he's not going to hit 3 home runs every single game, even though I would love that. I would love that to death. He's not going to drive in 3 home runs every game. He's not going to knock in 7 RBIs every game. I would love it. It's not realistic. But if you can just get a power surge from Kyle Schwarber where he's hitting a bunch of home runs in this month, that's huge for your offense. That is huge and can provide a lot of confidence for the boys there. Because Kyle Schwarber going on a power surge, that's game-changing. That's absolutely game-changing for your offense, and that can decide games. And Kyle Schwarber get a couple of RBIs on a 2 RBI double, 3 home runs involved in that as well. Completely changed the game. He completely changed the game when he made it 4-3. And it just continued from there. Just amazing. Also, there was a call from the umpire. Alec Bohm with a leadoff double. Brandon Marsh bunts it down the third baseline. The Dodgers, they make a nice play to try to throw it to third base, but the umpire, judgment call type of play, called Bohm safe because they thought Rojas, the person who was covering third base, blocked the base path for Alec Bohm getting into the bag. So he called Bohm safe on that situation. And of course, Dave Roberts got ejected because that's a whole judgment call. You can't argue it. You can't review it. It's just one of those things where it's a judgment call by the umpire. And yeah, on the play, didn't really look like there was much impeding Bohm's path to third base. But the Phillies have been getting boned with so many things by umpires the past so many weeks. I don't care. I don't care. And there were so many things replay-wise today that was going in the Phillies' direction. You know, Nick Castellanos tried to extend a single into a double. Jason Hayward made a great play. He was called out on the play. They go to commercial break, and then we come back from commercial break, and we're still in the top of the inning because apparently the Phillies challenged, and Nick Castellanos was safe. So, there were a couple of replays where they just instantly went to the challenge booth, and they forced some calls to go into their favor. So, there were a lot of things going in the Phillies' favor today, regardless of how poorly they played defensively. Because if they lost this game, it would have been because of the defense. With all the things that were going in your favor and you still didn't manage to score runs and you still found a way to lose the game, I would have been pissed. I would have been fucking pissed. But you found a way, and you came back from a 3-run deficit, which, you know, at this point with the last couple of weeks, a 3-run deficit was killer for this team, where a team would go up by 1, 2, 3 runs, and you weren't confident that the offense can come back at all. Well, they showed that tonight. And the offense, you know, a lot of guys in the bottom of the lineup did their things. Some good things. Kyle Schwarber, obviously, he was on base every single time tonight. He was just completely locked in from the get-go. He was 4 for 4, 7 RBI, and a walk, 3 homers. Like, dude, the 3-run home run off Joe Kelly, that was just fantastic. That was amazing. It would have been a grand slam if the wild pitch didn't happen, but still. Does Schwarber get credited for the wild pitch? Does that go to Schwarber or no? I don't think it does. So I think he just gets the 7 RBI on the day. But you know, Kyle Schwarber kind of got robbed of another RBI. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. Kyle Schwarber was the difference in this game. It just obviously was. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but without Kyle Schwarber, you do not win this game. Because Bryce Harper had another 0 for day. Brandon Marsh was 0 for. JT was 0 for, even though he had an RBI ground out in there. Nick Castellanos got on base all the chances that he got. 2 doubles, walk, and a hit by pitch. Bryson Stott 0 for. Hayes went 0 for until Rojas came into the play and made some differences there. He walked, got a hit as well. So Rojas, you know, became a difference down there in the 9-hole part of the lineup when he came into the game. Had his number called. When someone went down with injury, came in, made a difference. Made a difference with his glove, and just, you know, got on base for Kyle Schwarber. And that's basically the most you can do as a 9-hole hitter. Turn the lineup around. And that's what Johan Rojas did tonight. Now, am I expecting Johan Rojas to do that every single night? No, because that's not the type of hitter he is. He's, in my opinion, still not a major league caliber hitter for what it's worth. But right now, you know, it's weird, though, because Johan Rojas, apparently, average-wise, he's better than Bryson Stott. Johan Rojas has a 240 average, better than Bryson Stott's 239 average, and he's only 4 points less than Brandon Marsh's average. So who am I to judge at this point? Who am I to judge at this point? Because there are some guys in this lineup that just can't figure it out. Really just cannot. Marsh has his moments. Stott has very few moments, but more times than not, it's been brutal for those two. So who am I to judge at the end of the day? But let's go over this entire game, because a lot happened. Pitch per pitch, even though I really did just summarize the entire game, I like going through the play-by-play recap just because it's a norm for me. It's what I like doing. So, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But, yeah, top first inning, Kyle Schwarber, leadoff bomb, 5-pitch at bat, goes the other way, goes into the first row. So, Phillies get on the board early. That's what you need in a game where you're desperately trying to win a series for the first time in fucking weeks. Then Trey Turner gets on with a single, but then Bryce Harper grounds into a double play, and then eventually the inning ends there. Bottom of the first, Tyler Phillips gets Ohtani the ground out. Very quick at bat there. But then Teoscar Hernandez doubles, which is the play that Brandon Marsh should have played out there in center field, or should have caught. And then Freddie Freeman instantly the next pitch singles up the middle and drives in Hernandez, instantly ties the game. Then Kike Hernandez walks. Lux grounds into a fielder's choice, so you get a player at first and third. And then Rojas, with the liner to Austin Hayes that he should have caught, went in his glove and came out, turns into a single instead, and a run scores because of that. It becomes 2-1. Phillips does get out of the inning, limiting the most of the damage, but it's a 2-1 Dodgers lead. Top of the second inning, Nick Castellanos with a 2-out double after, that whole Phillies challenge thing. Nothing happens because of that, and it's still 2-1 Dodgers after this top of the second, bottom of the second inning. Leadoff single for Barnes, then Kiermaier gets hit by a pitch. Ohtani grounds out into a fielder's choice, and it's second and third. And then Tyler Phillips gets a huge out by striking out Teoscar Hernandez. Then he manages to jam Freddie Freeman. I know a lot of people are probably going to argue in this situation that it's second and third, 2 outs, and Freddie Freeman's up at the plate. Why don't you just intentionally walk him and get to the right-handed bat that was coming up next? I think Tyler Phillips did the right, even though it's a judgment call at the end of the day in terms of if you're going to intentionally walk the guy or not. But Tyler Phillips made a nice pitch, and he jammed Freddie Freeman. So, in the sense, Tyler Phillips did his job, but Trey Turner couldn't track the ball down in a play that he should catch. If you look on the replay, Trey Turner kind of misjudged it off the bat, kind of hesitated a little bit before he started running into the outfield, and it barely missed him. He barely missed it. So, that is a play that Trey Turner should make, in my honest opinion. And 2 runs scored because of that, and the defense screwed you over again. So it's 4-1 Dodgers. Top of the third inning, nothing happens after a Kyle Schwarber walk. Bottom of the third, after a leadoff single by Gavin Lux, Tyler Phillips retires the rest of the side. Top of the fourth, Phillies go down 1-2-3. And the bottom of the fourth, the Dodgers go down 1-2-3. Top of the fifth, this is when the Phillies start to come back into the game after Austin Hayes basically has to leave the game. So I believe he did leave the game. When did he leave the game? Was it in the... Yes, it was the top of the third inning when Austin Hayes left the game. So that's basically when it happened. And what else there? I think it was in the bottom of the fourth inning when Teoscar Hernandez at the plate as well. That was the play that Rojas made that fantastic catch out there in center field, which probably would have been extra bases for Teoscar Hernandez again. So Rojas making the difference right there. Top of the fifth, Castellanos with a leadoff double, and then Johan Rojas reaches in on an infield single, which gets Nick Castellanos over the third base, and then he eventually steals second base. Kyle Schwarber then doubles down the right field line, scores a couple of runs, becomes 4-3. Trey Turner just got the end of the bat off of a hanging slider and flew out the left field, and then Bryce Harper flew out as well, but you cut back into the lead, you make it a 1-run game. Bottom of the fifth, huge shutdown inning there for Tyler Phillips. Retires Freddie Freeman, Kike Hernandez, and Gavin Lux. 1-2-3 there. Top of the sixth. This is where everything gets spicy. Alec Bohm leadoff double. Brandon Marsh tries to bunt Bohm over. Dodgers try to throw it over the third base. Umpire calls Rojas for blocking the bag and calls Bohm safe. And then the arguments ensue, and then, Dave Roberts gets ejected for the Dodgers. But then, Dodgers go back to the bullpen. Well, not back to the bullpen. They bring in the reliever for Gavin Stone. And JT Realmuto comes in against Joe Kelly. Gets a ground out, which does score a run. He chopped it basically, which allowed Bohm to get the home. So, productive out in that sense. Nick Castellanos didn't work the walk. And then with 2 outs, because Bryson Stott flew out. And then a huge at-bat here by Johan Rojas. Worked the full count against Joe Kelly, and he managed to work a walk. So, huge stuff there by Johan Rojas. And then during the Kyle Schwarber at bat, Joe Kelly throws a wild pitch, which scores a run, ties the ball game up, or actually gives the Phillies the lead there. The JT ground out tied the game. The wild pitch gave the Phillies the lead. And then Kyle Schwarber put an exclamation point in the at bat with a 3-run bomb. So, all's well, ends well at the end of the day. So the Phillies go up 8-4 after the sixth inning. Now the Phillies go to the bullpen. Kerkering comes out, goes 1-2-3 in the bottom of the sixth. Top of the seventh, Phillies go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the seventh, Jose Alvarado, after an infield single by Pages, he manages to retire the next couple of guys. He gets Ohtani the ground out into a fielder's choice, and then gets Teoscar Hernandez the ground out into a double play. And I kind of do get the sense that Alvarado was finding his confidence again. His stuff in his past couple of outings has looked pretty sharp, so take that for what it is. Top of the 8th inning, after Nick Castellanos gets hit by a pitch, nothing really happens there. Nick Castellanos did get pissed by that as well, so I'm not sure if there was intention in that at all, because Matt Strom, the very next inning when he came out, he hit Gavin Lux, so I don't know what the process was there. I don't know if there was any intention in anything there, but we'll see. We'll see. Then top of the 9th inning, Kyle Schwarber, leadoff bomb, third bomb of the night, makes it 9-4. And then surprisingly, Rob Thompson brings out Junior Marte. I was not thrilled by that decision, even though, yes, you do have the luxury because it is a 5-run lead. I understand that fact, but I'm like so nervous to the fact that you've blown a 5-run lead before not that long ago, and to the fact that you need to win a fucking game, I would have went to a better arm. But eventually, Marte did get out of it after allowing the 2 leadoff base runners, basically. That's all that matters. He allowed a single to Hayward. Barnes then walked. Then he struck out Pages, got Ohtani the foul out, and then got Teoscar Hernandez the ground out. So, no harm, no done at the end there. I was just very scared because I was going to be like, oh, God, Marte's going to come in. He's going to score a couple of runs, and the Dodgers are going to get hot. Freddie Freeman's going to probably find a way to walk it off and then kill my soul. That's what I thought was going to happen. But thankfully, I almost said sadly, but thankfully, that didn't happen. Thankfully, that didn't happen. So, good win. Like, you desperately needed that win. You desperately needed this series win. Now you're 68-46 on the year. You're 22 games above 500. You also did get some benefit with the standings today because the Braves lost another game to the Milwaukee Brewers, so I think they lost that series, and they play their 3rd game tomorrow. So that helped you in that sense, but I do believe the New York Mets won in extra innings against the Colorado Rockies tonight. So I got to see what that really entails for the entire standings. So right now you're 7.5 games above the Braves, and you're 8 games still above the Mets, which was the same thing from last night. But the Mets, they're a half game behind the Braves. So basically, those two are fighting it out for second place in the NL East right now. So that is going to be interesting as things progress. But you still got to find a way to build some confidence here. Just because you won a series doesn't mean I'm automatically satisfied. I'm happy that you won a series. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy that the Phillies won tonight. I'm very happy that they won a fucking series. I can finally be happy after a recap. Really. I was happy that they won last night, but from the fact that still wasn't confident that they were capable of winning a series yet. Now that you won a series, I could be happy after that, but I'm not satisfied fully because this series win can mean nothing if you don't win the series against the Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks have been hot. They've been very hot. So they've been one of the better teams in baseball in the second half. So you got to win a series. You got to build confidence after this. You can't go into Arizona and split or lose 3 or 4 or even get swept. That cannot happen. Because if that and any of those outcomes happen, the series win means absolutely nothing. You have to win the series in Arizona. You need to win 3 or 4. I'm not accepting split. I'm not accepting anything there. You got to win 3 or 4. You got to win 3 or 4. I don't know what's going to be happening tomorrow with the pitching matchups, so I'm assuming it's going to be Allard on the mound. I don't think anything has been fully announced yet, but I do know that Zach Wheeler pitches on Friday, Aaron Nola pitches on Saturday, and I think Christopher Sanchez pitches on Sunday. So you got your better pitchers on the mound for 3 of the 4 games. So you need to win this series. You need to win this series. Offensively, Kyle Schwarber did most of the damage tonight, so I still need some guys that fully get going. Nick Castellanos has been hot with the bat. He's been one of their best hitters for a while now. It doesn't feel like it, but stats show you that he actually has been. Same with Alec Bohm. I need Bryce Harper to get going consistently because right now it feels like he has a good game, has a bad game, has a good game, has a bad game. I need consistent Bryce Harper. I need consistent Trey Turner. And I would love to see Kyle Schwarber with the stretch that he has the past couple of days. He's had 4 home runs in the past 2 games, so let's see if that power surge can continue into this Diamondbacks series because this is another series that you need to win. So It's all hands on deck here. You got to win a series. Okay? You won a series tonight. Feel good about yourselves. Take that confidence. Go into Arizona. Win the first game. You got to win the first game. And yeah, granted, the pitching matchup is not going to be in your favor because most likely Allard is pitching at some point tomorrow. Whether you're opening with a Ryan Kerkering again and then go into Allard for a few innings, you gotta win tomorrow. Your offense needs to show up. That's the bottom line. Your offense needs to fucking show up tomorrow. And for this series entirely, we all know the history of you guys going to Arizona. It's not well. It doesn't go well. Going back to the NLCS last year, and just the history of you guys playing in Arizona over the past couple of years, just in totality. You need to win a series. And who knows, maybe winning a series in a place where you normally struggle in, maybe that bodes your confidence even more. Maybe that improves it even more. Because this team just needs find ways to add that confidence, get the vibes to feel better, and get back to playing the baseball that we know you're capable of playing. We know this team is good. This Phillies team is a good baseball team playing very bad baseball for a while now. We know the ability is still in there. I don't think fans have forgotten that. Fans are very frustrated and angry that you're not playing up to your capabilities, and I think the team understands that. I think they clearly do. You got to find confidence in yourselves again. You can always say that, oh, the clubhouse vibes are all good, the culture is all that good and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm not doubting that your clubhouse culture is good. I've never doubted that. It doesn't matter when you're losing, though. You can have good clubhouse culture and lose a bunch of games. You got to win. You just got to keep winning. Winning heals all ailments. And you need to start winning. Again, this is a good start with a series win for the first time in a little bit. You've got to carry that over. I can't be seeing a split. I can't be seeing a series loss. Just can't be going back to the same old of the past couple of weeks here. It's got to uptick a little bit here. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. And that's what I demand. It's what we all should demand. Now, before I look at the upcoming schedule here for the games, I want to see if there's anything from Rob Thompson. Want to see if there's anything here. I do want to hear Kyle Schwarber postgame, actually, so let's bring that in here. Kyle Schwarber postgame on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Let's hear it.
Phillips, went out there and grinded out for another inning for us, and that was big, and kept them there 4-1. And, we were lucky to go out there and felt like oh, man. Chili Willy. That's Chili Willy.
Chili Willy.
Felt like, obviously with Hazy going down real hot, did a really good job stepping in there. Was ready to rock and roll in the game, and felt like it was a really good team effort there all the way.
Yeah, he makes a good point there. Makes a good point here. I do want to hear these stats here because NBC Sports Philadelphia also just posted stats about Kyle Schwarber. Let me bring this up here.
Schwarber season stats: 261 OBP, 390, 79 runs scored.
Is he going to get the 400?
OBP?
He's got a shot. He's got a very good shot.
He's got a chance for 100 RBIs, 100 runs scored, possibly 35 homers, maybe.
I mean, think about this game tonight. Philly scored 9 runs. He was up at the plate for when 8 of them scored.
Crazy.
I mean, one of them was a wild pitch right before he hit his 3-run home run. So he very well could have had 8 RBIs tonight. I mean, talk about being a beast. Talk about stepping up there and saying, come on, this one's on me tonight. And we always talk about who's going to carry the team. Is there a player out there that could put this team on their back? That's what we're talking about. A game like this where everybody else could just kind of kick back, relax, put your feet up, and have a beer during the game if they needed one. But, I mean, that's a nice game by him.
Yeah, looking at Kyle Schwarber's overall stats, I want to go back to that beginning there just to see what the numbers are. So his average on the season, 261. His on-base percentage is 390. I believe he has the most walks in the National League or even the most walks in baseball. So that just shows you how much of Kyle Schwarber just getting on base in general. He's driven in, or he's scored 79 runs this year. He's got 27 bombs. He's got 73 RBI, and he's got an 894 OPS. numbers are really good. His numbers are really good. And people keep saying that he's not a leadoff hitter. People keep saying that he's not a leadoff hitter. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. People want to, you know, keep disputing it. But, you know, he is. He's a leadoff hitter. Let's hear from Rob Thompson. Got a nice post here from John Foley. So let's see what Rob Thompson has to say after tonight's game, after another, finally, a series win.
Somebody do something like that, which we did tonight.
Yeah, really, really special. This guy's, he can really hit. He's, as I said prior to the game, he's smart. He comes in, he does his work, he does his prep work. Yeah, it's a big night.
You feel like he has a knack for kind of putting you guys on his back when you guys need it, when you need someone to step up and.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, you know, there are times when we're in a bit of a slump, and he'll inject some energy into the club with a leadoff home run or a big home run somewhere. He's a lot like Harp that way.
Did you feel like that Rojas catch injected some energy too?
I think so. I mean, he had a great game. Two great catches.
Yeah.
He had the one later where he, on the shallow fly ball, infield single that he beat out. A great at bat for the walk. So he had a really good game.
How bad is?
Yeah, I think we can't even knock or like forget like the impact that Rojas made. Rojas comes in, you got to handle the beginning of the game. You get a 1-0 lead, and then your defense instantly shits the bed, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh God, here we go again. Oh Jesus, we're fucking up. We're continuing to fuck up. Now we're down 3 runs after we just got a 1-0 lead. We shit ourselves so badly." Then Rojas comes in, makes a fantastic catch, makes a couple of fantastic catches. Maybe that changes the vibes a little bit. Makes you feel good about yourself. Oh, we made a fantastic play out there. Could have been worse. We're still involved in this game, boys. Let's keep it going. It's an impact changer there. And he also walked with 2 outs, which basically helped set up, Kyle Schwarber for a couple of damage there, which really helped. Basically, what was it that he set up the Kyle Schwarber 3-run shot, walking there with 2 outs. That was a huge at-bat there from Johan Rojas. His impact was felt tonight. Now, like I said, is Johan Rojas going to be like this every single night? Probably not. And he's going to be playing more often now with the Hayes injury. So, he made his presence known. So, he helped out. Can't knock that presence there from Johan Rojas. He definitely made some differences in the game with his glove. And, a little bit at the plate as well. Definitely can't forget that. So before we end it off, let's just get to the upcoming games here against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Seeing the pitching matchups and all that stuff. So tomorrow, it's going to be Allard on the mound going up against Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery, he is 7-5 with a 6.37 ERA. Looks like at this point for Jordan Montgomery, he still does not go deep in the ball games for the most part. But has a good start, has a bad start, has a good start, has a bad start. He did face the Phillies in June in Philadelphia, and he went 6 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs. So take that for what it's worth. Phillies need to hit Jordan Montgomery badly. And then you're going to have Zach Wheeler on Friday going up against Ryan Nelson. He's 8-6 with a 4.65 ERA. Did he face the Phillies when they played in Philadelphia? No, it does not look like that's the case. So, person that the Phillies haven't seen yet. Then on Saturday, it's going to be Aaron Nola going up against Zach Allen. Phillies are very familiar with Zach Allen, even though he didn't pitch in Philadelphia because I believe he was injured at the time. And then Sunday, it's going to be Christopher Sanchez going up against a to-be-determined pitcher before the Phillies have an off day on Monday and before they come back home to play Miami and the Washington Nationals. So, got to win 3 of 4 here. You got to win 3 of 4 here. You have your 3 better pitchers on the mound in this series, but you need to win 3 of 4, and you need to win the first game of the series. What Rob Thompson stated so many weeks ago, got to get back to winning game 1 of the series. You got to do it. You got to do it because it does set you up for something better there. Win the first game. And like I said, yes, granted the pitching matchup does not benefit you. Offense needs to show up tomorrow. Offense needs to show up, so getting to a very long point here in the video, 35 minutes, so I think this is the best point to edit off. Thankfully, they won a series. Thankfully, they did. So, thanks, guys, for tuning into this whenever you decide to. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for tuning into tonight. And I will see you next time. Maybe we'll go back to the live stream recaps for this Diamondback series. Play it by ear. So, you'll see it pop up in your subscription feed. You'll see an update on Twitter. So, you'll see it. So, thanks, guys, once again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.